So, Abhi, thank you, sir, for this answer. Would like to build on this question that when you started the Honeybee Network in 1988, were there any other major players who were operating in this space? Did you derive some inspiration from them? And what was the response that you received from your colleagues? Like you mentioned, how supportive IIM Ahmedabad as an institution was, but just wanted to know the response that your colleagues sort of gave you when you pitched this idea of the Honeybee Network to them.
First of all, let me begin with the second part of the question first. When the wing peon, the guard, the sanitation workers saw that farmers were coming to my office, mechanics were coming to my office, poor people used to come on weekends and we will have meeting in Wing 11 with farmers and artisans. I think they felt good about it. They thought one like them is coming to the office. IMA never had such people. You must understand that IMA would have executives and big people from big corporations and big offices and so on. So the character of interface of the institute with very common people who may not have good clothes or properly dressed, but who had quite rich knowledge system, they used to come to the institute in our meetings. And sometimes some students, not very many, but some will attend that. That was one. That was giving us respect. Secondly, the knowledge that they were sharing, I was bringing to my class. In fact, it's interesting, and I will discuss that how several changes at the institute we could bring about because of the experience that I was sharing in my class built upon our Shodhyatras. I will talk about it later. So I must say that my colleagues were tolerant, if not directly appreciative. They were very tolerant. They were some of them were appreciative also, I would not deny that. But many were indifferent. Some were quietly appreciative. Few were overtly appreciative. And large number were very tolerant. They said, look, he's working day and night, working for bringing about some change in the system. Why should we bother? Let him do that. At least he's not, the fact that you're not doing anything for your self-interest personally, I think at some level, it generates social capital. And that social capital is a big driver of change. Because people don't see that, look, it is also adding to the image of the institute after all. Institute was not known to work with grassroots level people, isn't it? There was only one project earlier of project that Javaja, which Ravi Mathai used to work in. And that was, of course, very useful project where, and Dharampur also they worked. But there was nothing in the innovation space. Mind you, at that time, there was no WTO. There was no Convention on Biological Diversity. That came about in 92. WTO came about in 95. And we were talking about IPR. The very first issue of Honeybee from 90 onwards had a line, will you stand by the IPR of the peasant? So we were in some sense ahead of the time. We started debate on intellectual property right. We started debate on innovations. We started debate on how can national innovation system of a country be only concerning the R&D in the formal sector. What about R&D in the informal sector? 60-70% people survive because of that R&D, research and development. So very basic questions were being asked. And I was publishing papers also at the same time. And the teaching, the fact that, at the end of the day, the teaching influences the environment around you, because our feedback goes to everybody, not only faculty, it goes to students, it goes to secretaries, it goes to everybody. So if you're not teaching well, you wouldn't get the degrees of freedom. I'm being modest, but at the same time, I have to be truthful. That you have to do your primary job well, otherwise you would not be allowed to have degrees of freedom. I mean, anybody who would like to see this lesson from the work that I did, that I have to do 3 times more work. I have to do more teaching than others. I have to publish more papers than others. And I have to make more impact than others to be able to carve out this space, degrees of freedom that I was getting. You cannot do just as much as everybody else does and still expect that you will be given more freedom. So I must say that the staff and the workers were very cooperative, very helpful. Sometimes they realize that I will send my teaching material at the last minute because I'm involved in so many things. And in case you will never object to that. They will always willing and cooperative. So they knew that there were constraints in working with me. but people were very supportive. My secretary, Bhaskaran, who stayed with me for 25 years, day and night he used to work with me in the office. And that fact that Wing 13 used to be alive all the time was visible. The light in Wing 13 never got off. I mean, 24 hours, somebody or the other was working there. That was, to my mind, visible to people. You know, grapevine is very strong in IMF. Everything gets talked about. Nothing remains hidden, which is good. So I must say that I got a lot of support, not just overtly, but also covertly, in the sense that people had a sometimes grudging and sometimes benign respect for the fact that we were working hard to make a change, a durable change in the policy of the country.